In today's Yin Yoga class for the meridians, we're going to get into the hips, the side body, and the inner thighs to affect the liver and gallbladder meridians, which will help you go with the flow and take action in your life. March is Meridian March in our membership community. That means that each day we offer you classes for your meridians in our daily yoga connection. That means daily yoga for your meridians every day in March. On the third Sunday of every month, our members enjoy a 2-hour Yin Yoga workshop with two-way video called Yindulgence. Here we're able to explore the principles of Yin Yoga super in-depth with a 90-minute long Yin Yoga class, followed by a discussion of your insights and questions about Yin Yoga. To become a member of our community, go to melissawest.com/membership. Hello and welcome to Yoga with Melissa. I'm Melissa. I know that those of you who choose Yin Yoga videos like this are really dedicated to the deep dive into Yin Yoga and traditional Chinese medicine, connecting with the meridians and the subtle energetic body. So let's get right started by resting back and putting the bolster underneath your legs and starting our class today. Feel the support of the earth underneath you. Become aware of the flow of your breathing. When I was doing the research for this video, I found a 2013 study in the International Journal of Yoga, and the study investigated the level of qi in the meridian channels by measuring the electrodermal measurements at the acumeridian endpoints. So that would be in the fingers and the toes. And the study found that the energy was regulated and increased in the meridian channels. So I don't know about you, but I've had some Chinese medicine doctors question the efficacy of Yin Yoga for coaxing the qi through the meridian channels. So I was kind of pleased to find a study that proved the efficacy of yoga at coaxing qi through the meridian channels. So we can just put that one to rest. There's been studies that are able to show that it works, and we can relax into knowing that when we are coming into these shapes, that we are drawing energy into the channels, and that the study that I looked at showed that it regulated and increased the energy. Although it wasn't Yin Yoga, so they weren't showing a sedation of energy. But I think it would depend on the kind of yoga that they were doing. So anyway, we know that it affects the chi. They can measure the way that it affects the chi and the channels. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, let's go ahead and stretch out here. And we're going to come into our first yin posture. So for most of these yin postures, I think I've been able to combine both the liver and gallbladder meridian. So we're going to start by coming into child's pose with the side bend. So if this bothers your knees, you could do knee to chest pose, and you could add a side bend to it as well. So you're getting into the side body by taking, you could even increase that by taking your arms overhead, and you could anchor the legs by placing your feet against the wall. So that's a good alternative for knee issues. And then you're taking the knees wide too, so that you're getting into the liver meridian and the lower body. Otherwise, if it's okay for your knees, you're going to come up here, open your knees wide, and fold forward, and then let's walk to the right to begin for the first side. So let's begin by remembering the principles of yin. You want to find that appropriate edge where you're going to be able to stay for a while and soften and be still. So for me, it seems like I've just chosen a way too wide angle for my legs. I'm just going to close them a little bit. And now that feels like I'm going to be able to stay for that 5 minutes with a little more ease and softness. And we do this so that we can coax the chi into the deeper tissues in the body, and also so that we can coax the chi into the meridian channels. So speaking of the meridians, here we're affecting the meridian, the liver meridian, which starts at the inside of the base of the large toe, travels up the inside of the leg and the thigh. It penetrates the reproductive organs. It flows underneath the rib cage into the liver, where it circulates internally through the lungs. Okay, so we're going to slowly come out of child's pose on this side, and we're going to just lie on our backs for a moment to allow the chi to flow through our bodies. And then we'll go ahead and do the same pose on the other side. So if you're doing it on your back, you'll just add the side bend to the other side. Or you can do child's pose again. I'm just gonna maybe see if I can make sure that doesn't rub on my mic. So take your legs wide again, and you're gonna fold forward, and you're gonna walk your arms over to the left side this time. And this time we're gonna affect the gallbladder meridian, which begins on the outer corner of the eyes. And then the meridian zigzags down on the sides of the skull, down the back of the neck, and it crosses over the shoulders to the front of the body, zigzags across the chest, and then the sides of the trunk, and it goes down the sides of the hips and the thighs and the legs. It ends on the second joint of the fourth toe. So the way I think of the gallbladder meridian is really mostly the side body. And I just have my hand here to keep my shirt from rubbing on my mic, but you can have both your hands overhead, please. Okay, so we're going to slowly come back to the center and rest back onto our backs again. Okay, then you're going to come over onto your stomach, and we're going to go. I'm just seeing like I missed a pose that I wanted to do with you guys, so I'm just seeing if I can add it in without this class becoming monstrously long. Okay, we're going to come onto our bellies, and we're going to do a Sphinx pose with our legs up to the side. Okay, so let's just wiggle your hips from side to side and tuck your right toe under, lengthen back through your right heel. Tuck your left toe under, lengthen back through your left heel. I'm going to show you a myofascial release technique, especially if you have pain in the back of your neck or you have any neck injuries, and this pose tends to trigger neck issues for you. So I'm just going to, you rest down with your forehead on the mat, but if I do that, my mic's going to just sound like terrible. So all you do is you go up the back of your neck, and then there's these bulby places here at the occipital ridge. Not there, but just above it on the skull. You're just going to give that a little rub. Almost like you don't have to push too hard. It's just like you're giving yourself a little scratch there. Okay, and then we're going to come into Sphinx pose, and it should be easier through the back of your neck. And let's do it with our left leg up to the side so we get some liver meridian in here. So those myofascial release techniques, there's some that I did for our members, particularly for the neck. Although not that one, I haven't filmed that one. You guys are the first to get that one. In our membership community, and I've got a whole one for the back of the neck that I'm hoping to film in May for our members. So, and I want to do like another series of them for our members in May. Okay, so the liver is responsible for the smooth flow of blood and qi in the body. And the gallbladder stores the bile produced by the liver. So just remember, when we do those myofascial releases, it's just that the connective tissue the fascia is rich in nerve endings, so it just sends a signal to your brain that there's no need for tension in that area, in this case the back of the neck. And so then the neck releases, and you're able to come into the pose with greater ease. You might feel more fluid through the neck. You might have greater range of motion in the neck, less pain. I like to call it myofascial magic. Little bonus for you in this class. Okay, so we'll come and lie on our bellies and just feel the flow of chi. Okay, and then before we go to the other side, we'll just do that release again because the effects are temporary with these. So we'll do the release again and then we'll come into the pose on the other side. So just go up the neck. You feel the bulby parts on the base of the occipital ridge. Go above that on the skull and you just rub with the tips of your fingers there. And then we'll come into Sphinx pose on this side. And we'll bring the right leg up to the side. So the liver organ is associated with when it's imbalanced, it's associated with the emotions of frustration and irritability. And when it's balanced, you'll be able to go with the flow. And then your gallbladder is responsible for decision-making, judgment, and courage. So when it's out of balance, you'll have trouble making decisions. But when it's in balance, you'll be able to take action with ease. Okay, so go ahead and rest down. Okay, I am going to add in the pose that I wanted to add in. We'll just hold it for a little less time. So this pose, I'm going to show you an alternative to, and because it's kind of hard it won't be, not everybody who has knee issues will be able to do it. So let me show you an option with legs up the wall. Okay, so this is an option with legs up the wall. So this is an option with legs up the wall. You're going to get your legs up the wall. And then you'll bend one leg and you'll take the other leg out to the side until you can feel something happening on the inside of your leg. Okay, so that's the legs up the wall option. Otherwise, you can join me. Well, I can't say I love you upside down. I know this shirt is riding up because of the mic. If I put it over the mic, does it affect the mic? Okay. Wardrobe malfunctions with this outfit. It's not good. Okay, otherwise you're going to come here like you were gonna go into child's pose. And then you're gonna take your left leg out to the side. And then you're gonna fold forward. So it's like a child's pose with the leg out to the side. So that we get into that liver meridian. And you might want to put a folded blanket underneath your arms here. Okay, so let's release this from our bodies. And we're going to just rest back on our backs here. And then we're going to come over and do the other side. So if you've got legs up the wall, you're going to just switch the knee and the leg to the side. So you'll have your left leg under you this time and your right leg out to the side. Meridian classes for your liver and gallbladder tend to be really good for people who experience headaches and migraines too. This organ system, when it's out of balance, tends to cause headaches. Also really good for menstrual issues as well, because it controls the blood flow in the body. Okay, then you can go ahead and let this side go from your body and rest back again. Okay, so our next pose is going to be cow's face pose or shoelace pose in yin, and that's a seated pose, and this one is one that a lot of people will find a lot through their knees as well, or too much for their hips. So let me show you a modification first. You can always take this lying on your back with your right leg crossed over your left and draw your leg in like this. Again, if you use the wall, then you can add the side bend that we're going to add, just taking one arm overhead, the slight bend in your spine as well. Okay, might be easier. Actually, it's better to bend away from the gesture leg on the bottom. So bend away from the right leg. So side bend your right side. Okay. So let's do that seated if you choose to do the seated one. Now, if your hips are tight, it's good to prop and sit up on something. So sit on a folded blanket. That helps a lot. So sit up, cross your right leg over your left leg. Oh, I forgot the blocks. Okay, you're going to need a block for this. And you're going to take your hands on your head like this, and then you're going to side bend over to the side, so we get a side bend in here as well. Okay. Okay, so you're going to slowly release this side. You're going to take your legs just out in front of you and just take a moment to lean back here. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So if you're on your back, you're going to cross your left leg over your right this time. And then you're going to side bend so that your left side is opening up. And if you're seated, you're going to cross your left leg over your right. And just know that side to side can be quite different, both for the side body and for the outsides of the hips here. And so we're going to side bend here. So your liver organ is the organ that's most affected by stress. When the liver organ is balanced, you'll be able to go with the flow. And the gallbladder, which is the meridian we're working here, is seen as a pivot organ. It helps you with new beginnings and new stages in your life. It's about taking appropriate action based on the circumstances of your life. Okay, so let's go ahead and release this side from our body, and we'll just feel the flow of the chi by resting back. And you can bring your bolster over to your left side to prepare for the next pose as well. I used to have this student who used to describe yoga classes like this. I'm thinking of this class as like pretty intense when you get into the liver and gallbladder meridians. They're just intense meridians for me. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if they're intense for you too. But she used to describe it like an inverse Big Mac because like when you eat a Big Mac, it feels good going down, but then it feels like terrible later. But then she would say like there were some yoga classes that I would teach, they would feel like not good during, but she knew she was going to feel good later. And I always think about that when I do a class like this. It's like, yeah, it doesn't feel so great during, but I know there's a deep part of me, there's a deep knowing that it's going to feel way better later. I always think of her when I do these classes, the inverse Big Mac. Okay, we're going to do a twist. You're going to bend your right knee, take your arms out into a soft T, tuck the hips under, and then you're going to place your bent leg on the bolster, but I actually want you to take it out long so we can get into that gallbladder meridian there on the leg. And we're just going to hang out here. I think a good yin yoga practice is like a good acupuncture treatment. It sets up the conditions so that you can feel it working on you later. So later in the day you'll notice that your energy's flowing better, that it's still kind of working on you later in the day too. I think that that's true of a good yin yoga practice as well. It's like all the healing doesn't just happen in this 1 hour class. It continues to, it's like the meridian channels and the meridian channels get aligned, and then the energy continues to flow through it throughout the day. And so just pay attention to that as you move through the rest of your day and evening. Okay, and then we're going to release this side, untuck. And you can take your bolster over to the other side. Bend your left knee, tuck your right hips under, take your left bent leg up on the bolster and extend your leg out so that you're getting into the gallbladder meridian there. Okay, so we're going to come back onto our backs for the final resting pose, Shavasana. So take your bolster underneath your knees here so that the chi can flow more evenly. So continue to rest back here to allow the chi to flow through the meridians, which we've just unblocked, and allowed the channels to be really clear right now. I'm going to sit up and read you a poem now. Okay, the poem I have for you today is by Zwicky, and it's from her collection Songs for Relinquishing the Earth. This poem is called April, and I chose it because the liver and gallbladder meridians are related to the spring season. How the light is sad, how it will not leave us alone, how we are tugged up staircases by the way it angles across landings, or just our faces tipped to the clear, depleted sky. How, because of sunset, the imagination headquarters in the west. Spring in the north, all that tawny grass and gravel, and nothing green to sop up the excessive honesty. Outside our windows, something like youth or promises. How the wind blows right through them, blossoming, fleet. And so as you continue to rest back in Shavasana here, I just want to acknowledge you for your dedication to your Yin Yoga practice. I really admire the time that you spend on your yoga mat. Just taking the time to focus on your liver and your gallbladder meridian really helps you to go with the flow and take action in the world. And that helps not just you, but everybody that you are connected with and in relationship in your life. And this is so important right now and so needed in our world, that it's easier for us to not get so uptight and angry and frustrated and irritated. And when we attend to our liver meridian, that's what's available to us, and then by extension to each other. And then we know, especially when we attend to our gallbladder meridians, how to take right action in the world. And so it's really admirable that those of you who choose videos like this are just so dedicated to your lives in this way. And I really admire that. So when you feel ready, you can start to deepen your breath. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to invite some movement back into your body. And start to stretch out, and you can bend your knees and roll to your side. And then you can make your way up to seated, and we'll close out the practice by gathering the fruits of our practice, all that flowing energy, the release of anger and frustration, the ability to take right action. We'll draw that into ourselves first, and then we'll offer it out into the world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of our own lives in some way contribute to the happiness and freedom for all. So thank you so much for joining us today, and when you make it all the way to the end, you know what to do. Give yourself a thumbs up for completing this class, and thank you so much for sharing this class with beings that are just like you, who are wanting to make a difference in the world with their right action by going with the flow. Go ahead and share it with them on your socials, and also put "I'm going with the flow" in the comments. That would be great. And I want to thank Anise for her donations this week, for her donation. We appreciate that very much. Helps us to, one of the things that we were talking about, we need a new light in here because one of our lights just, it bit the dust. These things don't last forever. So we need a new light in here. So we're talking about getting a new light, and your donations help us with those kinds of things. Just to let you know that March is Meridian March in our membership community. So each day we're offering classes for your meridians in our daily yoga connection. That's a section in our community where we have a class for each day of the week, short ones for the days of the week when you have to work, get the kids off to school, if things are busier, longer ones for the weekends. That's every single day, because I know daily yoga is important to you. And then on the third Sunday of every month, we also have our Yin Indulgence, which is a 2-hour live class with two-way video where I see and hear you and you see and hear me. And there we really take Yin Yoga in depth, go into the meridians, and we have about an hour and a half Yin class, followed by a discussion where you can share your insights and ask questions about Yin. So we've got quite a library of those in our membership community as well, and then a new one every month as well. So if that interests you, there's a link for the membership community as well in the description. So I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as rooted as the old growth trees in our forest. And may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste.